There was a lot of talk about this figure. Could this be the best Batman in a 1/12 scale? Let's find out. Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're gonna take a look at LPZZ Batman Arkham Knight thanks to the guys from Bumblebee store who sent it for a review. Unfortunately this figure is sold out at the moment, but maybe they will have it back in stock. If not, there are other LPZZ figures that are up for pre-order and Bumblebee has all of them, so I will leave all the links down in the video description. Deathstroke is next in line if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, check out Bumblebee store because they have a lot of figures from all kinds of official and third-party companies, so I'm sure you'll find something that you are looking for. But going back to this LPZZ Batman, I am so excited about this figure. I wanted it from the day that they showed us those first promo images, and I've covered the development of this figure on my channel. If you guys followed it, then you know that the company did make some changes to the sculpt, mainly to the head sculpt, but we'll see if it's still good. I want to see everything: the proportions, the sculpt, wired cape, articulation, is his movement good, are the joints loose, and how does this guy compare to what Rivaltech gave us? We'll see all of that in this video, so let's get started. First, a quick look at the packaging. It's a really nice premium looking box that reminds me on what InArt does with their boxes. A fully black background with a great line art illustration of Batman on the rain and the rain bouncing off of him. We have the logo here. Up here it says a 1/12 scale figure. Down here we have all these logos, meaning that this is an official licensed release. And then the front is actually a flop with magnets, so it opens like this, showing the figure and some of the accessories, but we'll get into all of that in a moment. This side of the box just says 1/12 collectible figure. Backside is very dark and I don't know how well you can see it, but there is an illustration of Batman here flying over Gotham City, and we have some basic information about the company. Other side shows Arkham Knight logo, same is on the top of the box, and we have warnings and barcodes on the bottom. But now let's open it up and let's take a look at the figure. I just noticed that in the back of the box, behind the figure, there is a nice image of Batmobile. Imagine if they make that in a 1/12 scale for this figure. That would be amazing. And also in the box we get this promo card saying that the next figure in line is Deathstroke. It says coming soon. And on the other side we have a silhouette of the character with some basic information about him. Here is LPZZ Batman out of the box, and wow, he looks amazing. The sculpt is beautiful. There are all of these nicely made details of the suit, different textures, all kinds of plates, and just overall the figure looks large and bulky, and that's exactly what we want out of this version of Batman. I'm also pleased to say that, at least at the moment, the joints feel nice and sturdy. LPZZ Batman is around 17 centimeters tall to the top of his head and around 18 centimeters to the tip of his bat horns. As you can see, he looks great even in a simple standing pose like this. But let's first take a look at his cape. It is big, and when spread out like this, it's around 38 centimeters wide. It is made out of two fabrics. One is glossy while the other one, following the same bat shape, is matte and feels kind of rubbery. Now, as already mentioned, the cape is wired. There are two wires on each side, here and here. But here we have my first issue. They took the same approach as Funjoy with their Superman and did not connect the wire to the body. They don't go all the way under the shoulder piece. This one stops right here. See how close that is to this collar or shoulder piece? So why not go all the way and tuck it underneath? I really don't understand that decision. And it's like that on each wire on this cape. To be fair, it is still good enough. It will hold the pose, just not the one that you would maybe want where the cape is flowing up like this. Well, it holds this one, but it won't go over the shoulder. Better than this, where part of the cape is placed over the shoulder like this. So it does hold much better than what Funjoy gave us on that Superman, but I would still prefer it to be tucked under the shoulder piece so that it holds even better. But it is what it is. Inner side of the fabric is less glossy, but it still has a nice texture. And the fabric is really nice. Taking a closer look at the head sculpt, this looks really good. I know that the prototype on those first promo shots looked even better, but it was expected that the final product won't look as good as that prototype, even if they kept the initial head sculpt. But what we ended up with still looks really good. I like the darker shaded skin tone, mouth and nose are nicely sculpted, head, and I also love the serious face expression. And I know what you want to know. Does he come with an alternate angry faceplate? The answer is yes, he does, and we'll take a look at that in a moment. But the mask also looks great with all these sculpted lines, and this front of the mask is also a removable plate because you can move his eyes, and we'll look at that as well in a few moments. And just to give you a better look at the eyes, here is a little bit of light on it, and you can see that he has his blue eyes, and they do look pretty good. Chest plate with bat symbol is metallic and reflective, and then the lower torso has this nice silver texture. We have few different panels with different colors and even these small silver details. Shoulder pads are on a hinge, so they don't hinder the arm movement, and arms look strong and muscular. Here are his gauntlets with these technical details, and bat spikes are made out of a softer plastic, so they are slightly bendable. Here is a look at his back under the cape, then his belt painted dark gold, and it has all of these pouches and other stuff sculpted on. Legs also look good with gray and black details of the suit, and then the armor on the lower legs, the shins with all of these panels, and finally his boots with even more sculpted panels and silver details. Bottom of the feet are also nicely sculpted. So overall, in terms of aesthetic, this is a beautiful looking figure. But let's now take a look at his articulation. How does this guy move? Well, the head rotates 360, he can look left and right. There is just a slight side-to-side tilt. Here is how far he can look down, and here is how far he can look up. Here is how the ball joint looks in the neck. Chest piece has these side panels that move forward like this, so they free up some extra movement for the butterfly joints. And he has some nicely moving butterfly joints. You can even pull out a bit like this, and that gives you an extra range of movement. So this is now the range that we actually have. Shoulder pads are on a hinge, so they slide down like this, and that frees up the movement for the arms, so they can go out like this. They rotate 360. We have a bicep swivel, a little bit of swivel in the elbows bent this much. Then we have a swivel in the wrists and a hinge in all directions. There are two cuts in the torso. One is up here, and it is nicely hidden. It is behind this line here, this upper panel. And then we have another cut here behind the belt. Those will give you a nice side-to-side rotation, a pretty good side-to-side tilt. Here's how far he can bend forward, and I remember that the up crunch was one of my main worries when I saw those promo images, because they looked kind of weird, like he couldn't crunch forward almost at all, you know, but we see that that's not the case. This is a pretty nice ab crunch. And then here is how far he bends back, so much more limited in comparison to the forward movement. These side pieces on the belt can be disconnected like this, and they go out of the way, they hinge up and down. They are made out of a rubbery, softer plastic, so they go out of the way when you want to give that extra range of movement to the legs. You can see the small peg holes, so they do plug in to the side like this. We have drop down hips here, but there is also one small flaw with this, and that is that when you try to push the hips up, this other one comes down. I will try to push this one up, and let's see what happens here. See, it shifts down. This is what you get. I know it's not a big deal. There are some other figures that have that same issue. Not a big deal. You can take both legs and then pull them up like this. But with that extra range of movement, legs go out all the way. Here is how far they move forwards and back. And I just wanted to mention that they even worked on hiding the ball joints in the hips. Look at this. They have this cover here. Then we have a tie cut, double jointed knees, a swivel in the ankles, and for feet to move forwards and back, you can shift the ball joint in the ankles forward and back. It shifts, it slides just slightly. So when you want the foot to move forward, slide it back like this and then push it forward. And this is the range that we get. And then for moving back, we slide the ankle forward and then push it back. And this is the range that we get. It could be better, but it also could be worse. We also get toe joint and a decent ankle pivot. This could be slightly better, but because of the way that it sculpted the armor and everything, I can understand that, but I would still like it to be just slightly better. I should also mention that sometime while posing this guy, it can happen that the hips become slightly loose. I don't know why, and It's not like that now. Maybe it's something with the hips, the way that they are designed, but when they are pulled back like this, and now when I articulate the legs, I don't have any issue with looseness of those joints. So I don't know how to explain it. I don't know why that happens sometime, but I just want to let you guys know that that issue could potentially be there, but for some reason it's not something that stays all the time, you know. But all in all, the articulation is pretty good on this guy. Yeah, there are some things that I would like to be better, but it's not a big deal. This guy moves perfectly. Let's now take a look at his accessories. And this guy comes with a bunch of stuff. First, we get the manual that shows us all the things that come in this set and how to use them, how to articulate the figure. We get a nice display base with Batman Arkham Knight logo and this plate that says Arkham Knight, and this is removable. We also get the neck of the base. These two connect together and you have a nice display stand. He comes with a total of 6 pairs of hands, a pair of fisted hands that are already on the figure, a pair of relaxed hands, a pair of trigger finger hands, 1 pair of gripping hands, and then another slightly different pair of gripping hands, and these are for his batarangs, and a pair of dynamic open hands. He also comes with few different weapons. First we have his disruptor, and it's a nice sculpt with a little bit of weathering on it and some silver details. Here is how this side looks, and then the other side. It's a nice sculpt. Then we have his explosive gel gun, then a voice synthesizer. Look at all of these small technical details. This looks beautiful. Then we get his bat claw, another great sculpt. Then we get a pair of his line launchers, and these are meant to be used with these slightly more opened grabbing hands. We slide it in like this, and we have these holes for fingers. So we push the fingers, and this is the way that he should hold it. He also comes with a so-called freezy grenade, a small accessory, but it still has some paint on it. And then we get a total of 5 batarangs. We get a pair of these smaller ones, and then 3 of these bigger ones with a bat symbol in the center, but in 3 different colors. And here is the smaller one in comparison. And then for the head, we get an alternate angry faceplate with grinning teeth. It's something that a lot of us were wondering why it was missing from those initial reviews that we saw, but fortunately it is here. We are getting this angry face expression. We just need to remove this one and slide in the alternate one. It's great that they included this. Batman needs his angry face for all the fighting poses, and it looks really good. As already mentioned, this faceplate is fully removable. We just pull it off like this, and as you can see, his eyes do articulate, and to do that we get a pair of these small sticks. These go into the eyeball like this, so we can move the eye in all directions. Honestly, this is a much better system, a much better design than what we usually get with Riveltech. These sticks connect to the ball joint and it is much easier to move the eye. They are still in, so yeah, the eye moves in all directions. And some of you guys were asking me to check if we can get the fully white eyes like in the game, and I'm pleased to say that yes, the eyeballs can be moved down or up and give us those fully white eyes. So yeah, the eye is fully white, so yes, it can be done. And here is how that looks on the figure. And then we also get the unmasked Bruce Wayne's head, and this one sparked a lot of online debate because of the changes that they made, but this still looks amazing. Look at all the details in the skin, the wrinkles, different shades of the skin, the redness in the cheeks. Everything is really beautifully done. The lips, the nose, and then the glossiness of the eyes. They did such a great job here. The hair looks kind of plain, has no shading, but it's black, so it's fine. We get this backside of the collar that aesthetically works with the neck. And of course, with this head, we get his empty mask that he can hold, and this also looks great. And here is how the alternate unmasked Bruce Wayne's head looks on the body. You can see the continuation of the suit, of the texture, and yeah, I really love how this head sculpt turned out, even though it is changed, but it still looks great. And then of course he can hold his mask. Switching out the hands is easy. We pop this one out, and here is how the wrist joint looks, and popping on the alternate hand, is no issue at all. Let's now compare this guy to some other figures. Here is how he scales with original Amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech Arkham Knight Batman and Mafex the Batman, but these two are actually the main comparison here. Obviously LPZZ is taller and aesthetically, of course, looks much better, much more natural. Natural is not something that is characteristic for Revoltech figures. I know that a lot of people don't like this release. Personally, I like it. I had a lot of fun posing it around, so I still think that this is a nice release in terms of Amazing Yamaguchi line, but LPZZ is much better. It is made for a much broader audience, you know. It is big, bulky, and still has a great articulation. Here is how he scales with the original Mafex 105 Batman Hush and the City Toys knockoff of Mafex 126 Batman Hush. LPZZ still towers over both of these guys, and I have reviews for both of these, so if you're interested, check them out, they are on the channel. Here is how he scales with both standard and deluxe version of InArt Dark Knight Batman. Here is how he scales with Mafex Dark Knight Returns Batman and Superman. Here is how he scales with Mafex Hush Joker and Amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech 1.5 version Joker. Here he is with two Revoltech knockoffs from AliExpress. We have Harley Quinn and Catwoman, and both reviews are coming to the channel. I wanted to see how he scales with the newest Joy Superman from the new movie, and this is what we have. LPZZ Arkham Batman is definitely in that 1/12 scale, while Superman is 1/9 scale, so he's definitely bigger than this Batman. Here we have him with Mafex Classic Suit Spidey and Daredevil, SH Figure Arts Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and Sentinel Peter B. Parker, City Toys Brown Suit Wolverine and Agent Venom, Sexy Ice Eliminator and Mass Toys Symbiote Spidey, Marvel Legends X-Men 97 Wolverine and their symbiote Spidey. Here is how he scales with Star Wars The Black Series Vader and Stormtrooper, and then to compare him to some more larger figures, here he is with NECA Movie TMNT Raphael and Masters of the Universe Revelation He-Man, NECA Feral Predator and Savage Crucible Vetaris Repax, and YOLO Park Transformers AMK Pro Series Optimus and Starscream. So there you go, that was my look at LPZZ Batman Arkham Knight. This is a great figure. Is it without flaws? No, it's not. Wires in the cape are not connected to the body, reducing their functionality, and a little bit of looseness in the hips after some messing around with the figure are my main issues with it. I would also prefer a little bit more movement in the neck, and I would also like to see a bit more ankle swivel, but no figure is perfect, and even with those issues, this is a great release. I strongly recommend it if you can find it, of course. If you are a Batman fan and especially a fan of Arkham games, this is a must-have for your collection. It looks great, movement is also good, and you get a ton of great accessories for your display. As you can see, I already made a posing video for this guy, so I can confirm that it was a lot of fun to mess around with him and test his posability. It's a great release, and I'm looking forward to LPZZ's next releases. Again, a big thank you to Bamboo's Bee Store for sending this figure for review. Without them, this review would not be possible. Check them out, see what they offer in their store, and as I said at the beginning, pre-order links for the upcoming LPZZ releases are down in the video description. But you've heard my thoughts, and now I would love to hear yours. What do you guys think about this figure? Do you like how it turned out? Do you have it on pre-order? Do you plan on getting it after watching this video? What do you think about the issues that I talked about? How do you feel about the wires in the cape? Are you satisfied with the range of movement of this guy? Let me know all of it down in the comments. As always, a huge thank you to my Patreon and channel members for their support. If you can also join and help, please do so. Links are in the video description. And of course, to all of you guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here with me, and I'll see ya in the next video.